guns at the door doesn't mean no brains will change from hand grenades. You love another psychopath sitting next to you. You love another murderer sitting next to you. You think I'd get this sitting next to you. But after all I've seen, please don't forget. All my friends are here. Wait for them to ask you. Please don't play the game beside. You don't know the half of me. We don't deal with outsiders very well. They say newcomers have a certain smell. Yeah, trust issues, not to mention. They say they can smell your intentions.
Okay. Either way.
You love another freak show sitting next to you. You love some weird people sitting next to you. You think how did I get here sitting next to you? After all I said, please don't forget.
Hi guys, welcome to SOW again. We'll start in a short while. Hope you have a good start to the week. Hope you have a breakfast.
Wait for them to ask you who you know.
James, do you have breakfast everyone?
Yes, usually I will reach office at about 8 to 8:30. Then I will do, depending if it's 8, then I will do an hour of me time. If it's 8:30 I reach, then 30 minutes of me time. I try to have some me time before I start the day.
Your me time is Anu Goreng,
Yeah. But actually the best food I like is fried bee hoon. Yeah, I really like fried bee hoon.
Fried bee hoon, the empty one, the plain one.
The plain one, yeah. Plain one will do.
Do you know, like, do you have heard of like mee bodoh?
No, what exactly is that?
Well, I mean it's a Malaysian style. It's like fried bee hoon, plain one, yeah.
Oh.
Malaysia calls it like mee bodoh. It's really just.
Recently, I found out that bee hoon, right, instead of frying, I think there's another type one. I got it at the Ngoh Hiong store. They steam it. Oh, that one also quite nice. I also like that. Yeah.
Okay. Or they cook it and then they put it inside the thermos.
They put it into a wooden steam pot.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
And then they steam it. Oh, that one was that is nice. Yeah.
Okay. Where is it?
I don't remember like Hougang area. Yeah.
Alright. So guys, if you picked up and you know where the so-called steamed fried bee hoon is, do drop us a message or comment on our handles.
Yeah. Any nice bee hoon, fried bee hoon that you know, right? You just comment. Yeah, and we are happy to go and give it a shot, give it a try. Okay, let's wait a while and then we're gonna start our SOW for this week. Give it a host. Okay. All right. So hello, morning, everyone. We're going to start our SOW. So once again, this is our weekly SOW. All right. So what we aim to do is to bring to you the latest money news articles so that we can help you plan better and then you can better allocate your resources as well. All right. So and this morning I have got over here, Gaius.
Gaius here. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, everyone. All right, so and then this week, right, we try to upload the video in a different format so that you can at least comment. All right, so please, if you have been following us, please comment on our video. All right, let us know what needs to be to improve, or if you like any particular topic, let us know. We are more than happy to just speak about the topic. All right, and I know that there are some people who have sent us and want to talk about Bitcoin and all this. We are preparing. All right, so we're going to come to that maybe later part of the SOW. All right. Okay, and today, right, our header today is I can't retire yet. I can't retire yet. All right, so guys, have you thought about retirement?
Yes, every day, maybe when I dream about it, lah. Yeah.
Yeah, or now you are already retired.
No,
Sammy.
I wish. That particular title is actually very apt for me as well. Yeah. And I think both of us we decided on this topic because like recently, if there's some surveys done, and so these surveys are actually the results of the survey are quite impactful, and we just hope that by sharing it with you today, and then hopefully you decide whether you want to be part of that result, the statistics, or you want to be out of it. At the end you decide, okay, and leave us a comment after this. Okay, so maybe I'll just jump into it straight, guys. So basically there's this survey recently done, and it is done by Manulife. Okay,
Yep.
and what it says is that 1 in 4 have invested in a retirement plan, and basically what it says that actually 72% of these retired response regret not saving for retirement sooner. Okay, and almost half of them wish they had invested in a retirement plan. Okay, let's pause a while, guys. Let's pause a while. Okay, 72% means like at least two thirds of the people out there who have retired. Yeah, so that means like they are the seniors who have gone before us. Okay, and to those of you who are actually in that category, thank you for logging in as well. Okay, and so the survey actually indicates that they actually regret not saving for retirement sooner, not starting like younger. Okay, and actually another thing is actually they hope they wish that they had invested. Yeah. So in this case, any comments, James?
Yeah, and when I read about this statistics, right, it's really surprising because and it is eye opening as well because I am not reaching retirement yet, but soon I'm 40. All right, so I've got another 20 over years to go. Retirement is something that is far away. Right from 20, I've heard about it. 30, I've heard about it. But then surprisingly, right, as you age, right, suddenly this retirement word really comes into the picture. And I think it is really useful, that there are such articles. So at least we are such statistics. At least we are aware of what is the retirement trend, or at least we hear from the people that are nearing retirement or at retirement, what are their biggest regret. So like what Gas has mentioned, right, 72% of the retired correspondent, right, regretted not saving. All right, so at the same time, right, they also mentioned that and this survey, right, basically mentioned that there's a decline in the standard of living as well. So with 1 in 4, right, having adopt lifestyle changes, all right, and also expenses changes to their expenditure. All right.
At least in this case, like going through the changes in expenditure actually dropped by another 1,005 on average. Okay, that means it's like if a person is retiring, the result of the survey actually shows that you'll be spending 1,005 on average lesser. All right, and of course, like half of all these people actually who responded, they say that they regret not investing in a retirement insurance policy earlier on in life. All right, okay, so think about it, guys. Are you in that category, or like do you want in that category? Or if actually you're in that category, do you have any other so-called like plan in mind? Okay, so that you are not part of these statistics. Yeah.
Right. And then there's another one, right? They mentioned that 1 in 2 aged from 40 to 59, right, basically mentioned that they wish that they had started their planning earlier, retirement planning much earlier. Yeah.
Okay. Right. And of course, like some of us actually was think that now no time or not enough money to retire. Now also not enough money to go for my ballet class or my kids' education. How to retire on my own, right? Okay, so guys, like a lot of them actually did share that among the things that they can do is really to invest. Okay, and actually many. The good thing is that right now there are many instruments to start from. Okay, and at the same time, James is like when we are talking about retirement. So what does it mean to plan for retirement? Right? So the question is actually a lot of people say that I don't have money to retire. I don't have resources. I need to do this one. I need to do this one. So retirement is at the back seat. But I think we have the gift or rather like this the benefit of like hearing from those who have gone on
Retired.
before us, okay, and they've given us this kind of feedback. So James, what do you think is something that practical that we can actually do?
Yeah, maybe I share my thoughts after reading this article. I think there's three key points that is important. One is what the survey has came back, right, is that retirement really needs to be planned earlier. Yeah, I think some of them started their retirement planning at 30 plus years old. But actually, I read an article before. I read a book before, from one of the books from the bookshelf here. Okay, so I read a book before. Retirement planning actually starts the moment you started working. All right. Yeah. So this is an interesting concept because the moment you started working, that is where you start planning for retirement. Yeah, and it kind of makes pretty much sense also. Right. If you start working at 20 plus or 30 years old, right, and then you start planning for it, saving for 30 years, okay, if you choose to retire at 60 years old and you start planning at 30, right, means every month you need to save the same amount that you're going to retire when you are at 60 years old, right? So if you save from 30 years old to 60 years old, that is 30 years of savings, all right? And then you are thinking that 30 years old of saving can last you for 40, 50 years. I mean that is not possible, right, logically, unless you actually invest. Yeah. So what I understand from that is really start as young as possible. And then the second thing is that again, I think in this article I also understand that what type of lifestyle do you really want? All right, is the lifestyle that you are chasing for? All right, when you are retired, is it less than 1,500 or more than 1,500? I think that is a pretty good gauge that you look at it. All right. The last part is that of course, when we talk about increasing your returns, right? I mean, there's a lot of instrument in the market. I think the article also mentioned, CPF, fixed deposit, salary, stocks, investment, insurance, savings plan, and endowment, etc. All right. So, what are the various investment vehicle that you're using? All right. Because if not, right, you're going to save for 30 years. And then you're going to spend for 30 years. But if you don't even save 1,500 every single month, right, which means that your retirement is almost impossible. Yeah, very difficult.
Yeah. And James, if I can also pick on to what James shared, is like I think the first thing that we need to ask ourselves, like what are we working for? When we start working, is we always, like you say, work and then start saving, right? It's like if you don't even think about like when we start work, we also want to come to a point where we don't want to work, right? Okay, and that's the ultimate aim of like the perspective we should have. Okay, unless you want to continue working. Even if you want to continue working until you drop dead, I think that is very unlikely, right? Yeah, because of different circumstances. So we have to actually work to the stage whereby we need to so-called like retire ourselves, eventually, and be prepared. And like you say, if you can come up with example, a number 1,500 a month, okay? So 1,500 a month, if you're actually needing 1,500 a month for the next 20 years, 30 years, so you just times 20, 30 years, okay? Times inflation, okay, right? Let's not forget about that, okay? So that's the amount that you need to prepare for. So if you don't start early, basically it will be harder. So that's one of the the conclusions that we can also draw from here. But the main thing is actually nobody can force you to actually plan for retirement. Really,
unless you really want to.
Unless you really want to. But again, like we may be saying that we are young and then we can't think about it. But the good news is that from this research or this survey is that people are just starting earlier in their 30s. Yeah. So looking back, I think both of us are actually hitting the big four and.
This year,
yeah, but we don't look like it, but it's okay, So given a chance, that would we want to actually plow in more? Definitely. I think if I were to ask myself, even starting before 30 or even like my early 20s, that would be nice. Okay, and the good thing is that actually starting doesn't mean that you need to start with a lot of money.
Yeah,
right?
correct. Yeah, the earlier you start actually also means that the quantum you save is actually easier for you. Yeah, it is more manageable for you as compared if you start later. Right? Can you imagine if you start, or exactly what the survey has mentioned, right? A lot of people basically start planning for retirement 6 years prior to retirement. 6 years prior to retirement. How to save? I mean, the reality check is that how can you save for 6 years and you are thinking of spending the money, right, for retirement for another 30, 40 years? That is not possible. Not possible. Yeah. I mean,
unless you've got huge sum of disposable cash, in that 6 years, that you don't spend anything. But Unlikely. All right. And we're talking about all of us, daily, wage earners, or even some of us like self-employed. We still have our own finances to budget for, right? Okay. So 6 years is just too short. Okay. Ideally is if you have seen us today, in this message or in this video, try. Okay. Respond to it by starting your own financial planning. Okay, or even for your retirement.
Yeah, and then and that's what we are going to share for this week, start of week. All right, so again, just a quick summary. So really look at your planning right now. Are you really saving 1,500 every month? Okay, do you want to start off by saving 1,500 every month? If that is not the objective, right, then maybe you want to start earlier, because if you start earlier, then you don't need you really don't need that 1,500 savings every single month. All right, start earlier, start planning for retirement. Dig out your financial plans and then look at it. All right, what are the various instruments that you have right now? All right, if you haven't really looked at it, please look at it right now. All right, speak to any one of us from the Money CEO. If not, speak to your financial consultant, your bankers. They will definitely be able to advise you what are the best instruments for you to save over a long-term period.
More than happy to advise you, definitely.
Yes, yeah. And lastly, ask yourself, what is the lifestyle that you want, at retirement? Whatever, do you want to drink that 70 cents? I don't know whether coffee is still 70 cents, maybe $1.
Still, if you now can, okay, yeah.
The $1 coffee, or you want that high-end coffee at Starbucks, $6.50, dollars, right? I think these are the typical questions that you need to ask yourself. All right, what is the lifestyle that you want for retirement? All right. So once again, thank you everyone, all right, for joining us in this week's start of week. All right. So if you have any specific comment, any specific topic that you would like to hear, all right, do drop us a comment. We change a little bit of the setting so that you can key in comment right at the end of the video. All right. So feel free to key in any comment for us so that we can improve better. At the same time, stay tuned, all right, for our start of week. Every week, every Tuesday, 10:30 a.m. We also have a Telegram channel and a podcast, Spotify podcast. All right, so join in our Telegram channel, because that's where you're going to get the latest and the updated information, news from the Money CEO. All right, till then, all right, everyone, have a blessed week. Thank you. Bye-bye.